So you did it. You went and brought home a new puppy. And it's one of the most exciting, amazing moments. But let's be real. It can also be completely overwhelming. There's so much advice out there. So in this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a clear, step-by-step guide for these first few critical weeks.
I mean, just look at that face. Bringing this little ball of fluff home is just pure joy. But you know, in between all the cuddles and the cute Instagram posts, you are literally shaping a companion for the next 10, maybe 15 years. It's a huge responsibility.
And that's the big question, isn't it? The puppy's home, the door closes behind you, and there's that sudden moment of, okay, now what do I actually do? Well, that's exactly what we're here to answer. This is your playbook.
All right, first things first, we got to understand the timeline we're working with here, because this isn't just about surviving the puppy phase. Nope. It's about seizing a really unique, really important window of opportunity that's going to define your dog's entire future.
Okay, so the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior, or the AVSAB for short, they point to the first 3 months of a puppy's life as the single most important period for their entire development. So why is that? It's because right now their curiosity is way stronger than their fear. And that creates this golden window to introduce them to the world and shape a confident, well-adjusted adult dog.
And this is where the stakes get incredibly high. This quote from the ABSAB is just chilling. They make it absolutely clear that behavioral problems that come from fear and anxiety are a bigger threat to a young dog's life than diseases. That means early socialization isn't just a nice to have, it is absolutely essential.
Okay, so with that urgency in mind, let's start building the foundation. Before we even think about teaching sit or stay, we have to create a world where your puppy feels totally safe, secure, and ready to learn.
This is such a core principle. You know, imagine you were just dropped into a brand new country where you don't speak the language. A predictable schedule would be your lifeline, wouldn't it? Well, it's the exact same for a puppy. A consistent routine for meals and potty breaks and playtime, it tells them, hey, I'm safe here. I know what's coming next. And that's how you build confidence.
So let's make this really practical. The American Kennel Club lays out this super simple but powerful morning routine. And you'll notice there's a clear pattern, right? Wake up, potty. Eat, potty. Play, potty. This rhythm, it's not just about house training. It's about creating a predictable little world for your puppy, which lowers their anxiety and helps prevent accidents before they even happen.
Now let's talk about the crate. Sometimes it gets a bad rap, but it taps into a dog's natural denning instinct, that desire for a small, safe space that's all their own. And that's why this analogy from Cesar Millan is just perfect. The crate isn't a cage, it's their personal den, a place for yoga mode where they can just chill out, decompress, and feel totally secure. It's a vital tool for teaching a puppy how to be calm. So once that sense of security is established, we can build on it with the second pillar, socialization. And the key here is creating positive associations with the world. The goal isn't just exposure to new things. It's making sure that exposure is safe and positive. We're trying to teach our puppy that the world is this awesome, exciting place to explore, not something to be afraid of.
And socialization is so much more than just meeting other dogs. It's about them feeling different surfaces under their paws, like grass and cement, hearing weird sounds, like the vacuum cleaner or a doorbell, seeing people in hats or uniforms. Think of every new positive experience as a little deposit into their confidence bank, building up a resilience that's going to last them their entire life. All right, so our puppy feels secure, they're getting socialized, now we can start teaching them some specific skills. This next section, this is your training playbook. It's a toolkit of different approaches to help you communicate effectively with your new best friend. This is one of the simplest and most effective places to start with training the whole idea of luring. It's fundamental. By using a really yummy treat, you can guide your puppy's nose, and wherever their nose goes, their body will follow. You can get them into a sit, a down, into their crate. It's all about communication without any force. Now, there are a lot of ways to approach training, and here are two pretty different philosophies. On one hand, you've got people like Cesar Millan who focus on your energy and leadership to build a relationship based on trust and respect. And on the other hand, you've got these really structured systems like American Standards that use a step-by-step progression to get to off-leash reliability. The big takeaway here is that there's not just one right way. It's about finding the tools and the philosophy that work best for you and your dog.
A huge key to success in a lot of these systems is this clear progression. You start with the food lure, that magnet we talked about. Once the puppy understands the physical motion, you take the food away, but you keep the exact same hand signal. Then, and only when that hand signal is reliable, do you add the word, like sit. You're basically just putting a name to an action they already know how to do.
Okay, so we've got the foundation and we've got the playbook. But let's be honest, training is never a straight line. So let's talk about one of the most common hurdles, puppy nipping, and the core mindsets you're going to need to get through all the inevitable challenges.
Okay, this is non-negotiable. The experts at UC Davis Vet Med are crystal clear on this. Physical punishment for nipping is not only ineffective, it's actually harmful. It doesn't teach your puppy what to do instead. All it does is teach them to be afraid of you, and that can lead to real aggression down the road.
So what's the alternative? It's a simple three-step process, but it requires patience. First, you redirect their mouth onto a toy they're allowed to chew. If they keep nipping you, you become boring. Just turn off all the attention. And if that still doesn't work, calmly get up and leave the room for just a moment. The message they learn is powerful. When I use my teeth on people, all the fun goes away.
And you know, tackling challenges like nipping is so much easier when you're guided by these three essential mindsets. First, be consistent. Everyone in the house has to be on the same page with the rules. Second, be patient. Learning is not a straight line. There are going to be good days and bad days. And finally, start early. That little puppy brain is like a sponge, just ready to soak everything up the moment you bring them home.
We have covered so much: routines, socialization, training techniques, troubleshooting. But what is all of this work really for? Let's kind of zoom out for a second and look at the ultimate goal of these first few weeks.
And this, right here, is the heart of it all. The schedules, the training sessions, the socialization checklists, they are not the goal themselves. They are simply the tools we use to build something so much more important, a real relationship that's founded on communication and trust. You are not programming a robot. You are raising a lifelong companion.
And that's what it all comes down to, right? The foundation you're laying in these first few weeks is going to set the tone for your entire life together. So as you move forward, the real question isn't just, what command am I going to teach next, but what kind of relationship are we going to build starting today?